Hello everyone, welcome to Raj Malhotra's IAS, and today in this video session we are going to discuss double dip La Nina, a phenomena which was recently in news. So let's begin with our discussion. First of all, why it was in news? The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration NOAA has declared that La Nina has redeveloped. So by the means of this video, first of all, we will discuss the ENSO cycle, basically the El Nino Southern Ocean cycle. What is El Nino? What is its neutral phase? And what is La Nina? Then we will see what is double dip La Nina. So first of all, if we talk about the ENSO cycle, there are three major phases of ENSO cycle. First is known as the neutral phase. Second one is known as the El Nino phase, and third one is the La Nina phase. So we will discuss each and every phase in detailed manner. Then we will see what this recent news is all about. So first of all, if we see the neutral phase and we want to understand what this particular phenomena is, we need to understand three basic things of climatology. The very first thing is, what is the interrelationship of temperature and pressure? Second, how precipitation occurs, and third one is, what is the impact of trade winds on sea surface temperature? If we will understand these three things, then we will be able to understand the complex phenomena of El Nino in a very easy manner. So let's begin with temperature and pressure interrelationship. If we see a particular surface and the temperature of this surface is increasing, with the increase in temperature of this surface, the air which is in contact with this surface will become lighter. Why it will become lighter? Because increase in temperature will increase the volume of this air parcel, and ultimately it will become very light. And as soon as this air parcel will become lighter, it will try to ascend, and when this air parcel will ascend, it will leave behind a pressure known as low pressure. So if we calculate the entire thing here, we saw with the increase in temperature, pressure is decreasing. So whenever there will be high temperature, the corresponding pressure which will be developed here is low pressure. So with the high temperature, pressure will be low. The very first thing that we established here. So temperature is inversely proportional to pressure here. This is the interrelationship of temperature and pressure. Now if we move on, as soon as this air will rise or this air will ascend, the moisture which is present in this air parcel will start condensing. Why it will start condensing? Because we know a fact, as soon as the air will rise, temperature will decrease. Why temperature will decrease? Because in troposphere, with increase in altitude, temperature decreases, and when temperature will decrease, there is a phenomena which is known as, there is a process of condensation will start, and when condensation process will start, it will ultimately result into the formation of what? It will result into the formation of clouds, and these clouds will be responsible for the precipitation. So we have seen two major things here. Very first thing is, what is the interrelationship of temperature and pressure? Second thing is how precipitation is occurring. Now the third aspect is how trade winds do change the sea surface temperature of the ocean. Let's see, if this is an ocean, right, and in this ocean, two trade winds, particularly this one and this one, northeasterly and southeasterly trade winds are blowing. With the increase of the trade winds, or with the blowing up of these winds, this part of sea surface water will be removed in this direction. Why it will be removed in this direction? Just because of the impact of these trade winds. And sea surface water is always warmer than the lower layers. Why? Because the surface of ocean is the part which receives continuous insolation. With the receiving of insolation, the surface water is warmer, and if this surface water is removed by the help of these trade winds, this part of ocean will have high temperature of oceanic water. And to balance out each and everything here in this ocean, certain amount of water will coming up in upward direction to maintain the equilibrium. So if the water is coming from the lower layers to upper part, this zone is known as the upwelling zone, and this upwelling zone waters are always cold waters. So we can clearly see here, with the impact of these trade winds, one part of the ocean is having high temperature and the other is having low temperature. And these are the three things that we need to remember if we want to understand the El Nino, La Nina and the neutral phase of ENSO cycle. So let's get back to our presentation, where we have seen what is La Nina, double dip La Nina, and what happens particularly in the normal year. During normal year, let's say if this is Australia and this is South America. During normal years, trade wind blows in this direction. Trade winds do blow in this direction, and when these trade winds will blow from east to west, they will pile up the warm water at the Australia, Indonesia, and particularly if we see the southeastern Asian part of the globe, right? And why we are doing all these things? Because this ENSO or El Nino is the phenomena of Pacific Ocean, and particularly the southern Pacific Ocean. That's why it is known as southern oscillation, right? And Pacific Ocean consists of around 50% of the all Pacific Ocean consists of the 50% of all the global oceanic water. That's why this is very important to understand here. And during normal phase, what happens when this water is removed from this part to this part of Australia? Here we will see the piling up of warm water. When the water will be warm here, it will generate low pressure condition here. We have seen in our very first thing here that as soon as the temperature will increase, pressure will be low. And when low pressure will be generating here, the air will ascend from this place, and ultimately it will lead to the formation of clouds and finally to the formation of rainfall. So hence we can see during normal years what happens at the coast of Australia, eastern Australia. During normal years, what happens? There is the formation of low pressure. With the formation of low pressure, air will ascend, and when the air will ascend, it will form clouds and it will give rainfall. On the other hand, if we see here at the coast of South America, here upwelling zone is developing. With the development of upwelling zone, the water here is cold. When the water is cold, the pressure comparatively here would be high, and high pressure conditions are always associated with the subsidence of air. And when there will be subsidence of air, there will be no cloud formation, and hence atmospheric stability will persist. And when atmospheric stability will be there, there will be no rainfall in this region. And we can clearly see a particular thing here. From high pressure to low pressure, winds are blowing, then this air is rising, and hence it is completing a one cycle which is known as Walker cycle. This is known as Walker cell or a Walker cycle, and during normal year this phenomenon happens. But if we try to understand what exactly La Nina is and how all these things are happening, the very first thing is the impact of trade winds. When trade winds were there, then this water was being removed from this coast and was piled up here, right? During La Nina, what happens? Please be with me here. During La Nina, what happens? The trade winds intensity increases. When intensity of trade winds increases for no reasons, for any reason which is still not known, if the trade wind intensity increases, then what will happen? The water which will be removing from this coast of South America, the amount of water will increase. Large amount of water will be piling up at the eastern part of Australia, and when large surface water will be piled up here, the intensity of low pressure will increase. Yes, definitely the intensity of low pressure will be increasing here in this situation. And when large amount of water is piled up, low pressure is increased, then there will be large amount of air which will be ascending from this place, and hence large clouds will be forming, and hence precipitation will be more in this aspect. So what we can infer from this particular condition is, when the trade wind intensity increases, the amount of piling up of water increases, which hence increases the temperature and hence decreases the pressure. With the decrease in pressure, amount of air which will ascend will increase, and which in turn will increase the rainfall in this region. This is one of the major aspect of La Nina. By the end of this video, we will also understand how this La Nina event impacts India. Right, but for the time being, now we are going to understand the another major important phenomena, that is El Nino. And this is very complex phenomena to understand, and please be careful while understanding this complex concept. I started up by saying trade winds remove the surface water. When they remove the surface water, that surface water piles up at the eastern coast of Australia. But again, for any unknown reason, if the intensity of trade winds decreases, when the intensity of trade winds decreases, and nobody knows the reason about it, and particularly climatologists and meteorologists are finding out the various reasons why generally this phenomenon happens. And for the time being, if we want to understand the concept says, if the intensity of trade wind decreases, what will happen? With the decrease in trade wind intensity, the amount of water which was earlier piled up here will start returning back to the coast of South America. What will happen with this? When this warm water will again go back to the coast of South America, it will completely reverse the entire phenomena. How? Because earlier the pressure here was low because of the cold water conditions, but now here the water is high temperature water or warm water, which in turn will develop the low pressure conditions. Earlier, this region was marked by the high pressure conditions and atmospheric stability, but now as soon as the low pressure will develop in this region, the air will ascend, and with the ascent of air, with the rising up of this air, it will form cloud and will give rainfall at the South American coast. Generally, what happens, this is the coast where Atacama Desert is located. Atacama Desert is located. Why? Because this is in the region where atmospheric stability persists, and if the amount of rainfall will increase in this region because of El Nino event, because of El Nino event, what will happen? The flood-like conditions will emerge in Atacama Desert. This is the major impact on Peruvian coast, or as far as this South American coast is concerned, right? So what is happening, I am again telling you, with the decrease in the intensity of trade wind, the amount of water which was earlier piled up here in this region will start returning back to the South American coast, and when this water is removed from this coast, the temperature, because we know a fact, the surface water is always a warm water, and if the surface water is completely removed from this part and is again piling up here at the South American coast, the temperature here would be high and the water here would be warmer than this part, and hence the conditions here will be high pressure conditions and here it would be low pressure conditions, which in turn will completely reverse the Walker cell. This is the major impact of El Nino event. This happens during El Nino, and this is why what will happen again, we can move ahead with this part. Earlier what was happening, this cold current which is known as the Peruvian current or Humboldt current, this cold current will be replaced by this warm water now, and when this Peruvian current is removed or replaced by this warm current which is known as El Nino current, this is the situation of El Nino. So if someone asks, what is El Nino? El Nino is nothing but the warming up of eastern Pacific Ocean, and in fact replacement of the cold Peruvian current with the El Nino current. This is the definition of El Nino. But what we need to understand here is, yes, this is a complex phenomena and it has impact on world level, on globe. What are their impacts? First of all, if we see the impact of El Nino event on South America and Australia, the very first impact is when El Nino events are there, Australia, where earlier the rainfall was happening just because of the development of low pressure conditions. But now if this low pressure has been changed to high pressure condition, which is the condition of atmospheric stability, the drought like conditions will emerge here. And when drought-like conditions will emerge, which will increase the temperature in this region, and hence the amount or number of forest fires in this region, particularly in Indonesia and Australia, the amount or number of forest fires will increase. On the other hand, if we see at the Peruvian coast or South American coast, where upwelling was occurring earlier, and whenever there is upwelling of cold water takes place, it always takes rich nutrients along with it. When nutrients were present here, which in turn will take fishes, and the fish industry develops here in this region during normal years. But now this cold water current is replaced by the warm water current or the El Nino current. The cold conditions are removed, hence the fishing industries will be impacted. Second aspect here that we need to understand here is, when the development of low pressure will take place in this region, which in turn will be responsible for the rainfall, and when rainfall will occur in this region, the flood-like conditions will emerge with El Nino. And if we talk about the La Nina conditions, because we want to discuss double dip La Nina. What happens during La Nina? La Nina is nothing but the piling up of more warm water at the eastern part of Australia, or we can say in the southeastern Asian nations, which in turn will intensifies the low pressure and will increase the precipitation. But if we see comparatively here in this region, when the warm water is piling up here in this region, right? The water here is warm, right? And this warm water will facilitate various numbers of tropical cyclones to develop in this region. Why? Because the favorable condition for the formation of tropical cyclone is the warm sea surface water. When warm oceanic water is available in this region, which means the number of typhoons, the number of tropical cyclones which generally comes in this region will increase. And if the tropical cyclones are increasing in this region, remnant of these tropical cyclones, there is high probability that they will enter into the Indian Ocean or Bay of Bengal region and might impact India. This is the major impact which generally people fails to understand. How La Nina event is associated with the more number of tropical cyclones in India. That's what we need to understand here is when the amount of water which is piling up here at the coast of Australia will increase, which in turn will increase the temperature of this region, and the number of typhoons will increase. Why? Because the warm water is piled up here, and when this warm water will generate typhoons or tropical cyclones in this region, the remnant of these tropical cyclones, the probability of these tropical cyclones to enter into the Indian Ocean region will also increase. This is the major impact that we need to understand here. But if we see the impact of La Nina on Indian monsoon, that's also one of the major things that we need to ponder upon here. What happens when Walker cell develops? Let's see, first of all, if we understand this by this diagram, let's see. And if this is Australia, South America, and here this is our India, we know a fact. Indian monsoon depends upon the pressure which is being developed in or at the Mascarene region. As far as this Mascarene region is concerned, how we say Indian monsoon is good or bad? Because of the fact that if the high pressure which is developed at Mascarene region, if this high pressure is comparatively intensified, then the winds which will be traveling towards mainland India will also get intensified. This is the basic part of Indian monsoon. For this you can watch my earlier videos also, right? This is the basic part where we generally discuss this Mascarene high is the point from where winds towards India will start, and as soon as this high pressure will be intensified, more number of winds and the winds which will be traveling towards mainland India will be intensified. For this, what we are going to do now is, let's say what happens during normal year. During normal year, warm water is being piled up here in this region of Australia, which in turn develops the Walker cycle in or Walker cell in this manner. And when air rises from this point because of the virtue of development of low pressure, when the air rises in this region, here some of the air will diverge and will ascend at the Mascarene region, which in turn intensifies the Mascarene high pressure. Why this air is subsiding at Mascarene high? Because whenever air will reach near the tropopause, it will start diverging. Some of the part will diverge here and will subside at this part, and some will subside at this part, right? But now if we see the El Nino conditions are developing, with the development of El Nino conditions, what will happen? This entire Walker cell will be reversed. which means the air which was earlier rising from this place, now the air will be subsiding and the Walker cell will be like this, and hence the earlier one, this part of air which was subsiding at this mescaline region will also not subside. And when this will not subside in this region, hence high pressure will be less intensified, and when high pressure will be less intensified, it will lead to bad monsoon year for India. This is the major impact of El Nino on India. Now coming back to our major part, what is double dip La Nina? Double dip La Nina is a condition when La Nina develops one after the other. Let's say this year was La Nina year, then again normal phase will develop, and generally it does not happen that again La Nina condition will reoccur, and if one after the other La Nina conditions are redeveloping, this is the phenomena which is known as double dip La Nina. So if we see the definition of double dip La Nina, it says La Nina is one part of the El Nino Southern Oceanation cycle, ENSO cycle, but when two La Nina happen one after the other, then it is known as double dip La Nina. So this is what we need to understand here, because everyone knows what is La Nina, and if somewhere UPSC asks what is double dip La Nina, then we need to understand, yes, this term is not new, rather if one La Nina happens one after the other, then it would be considered as the double dip La Nina. And if we summarize what we have done in the entire video, and if we see what is the impact of La Nina on India, the very first impact is La Nina leads to more number of cyclones in Indian Ocean region. This is the very first impact, and people generally fails to understand this concept, and rather they don't know this concept. The second one is the positive impact on Indian monsoon. As we have seen, El Nino event will do negative impact on Indian monsoon. On the other hand, on contrary, if we talk about La Nina will lead to the good monsoon year for India. I hope this lecture would be beneficial for your UPSC General Studies preparation, and this is very complex phenomena to understand. So please do watch this lecture and do follow this series for geography and environment related current affairs. Thank you so much.